Mojo Factor. I'm your host, Travis Brown, and this is where we break down the mindset, the moves, and the moments to help define the success of the best of the best. I'm talking to executive leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, coaches, gurus who tap into positive attitude, energy, excitement, enthusiasm, living on purpose with their passion, doing successfully what they are born to do. That's what I call the mojo. Now, today, we've got Amber Fields, a true game changer in the people and culture industry. And I know she's ready to drop some serious knowledge. So let's go. Please help me welcome the Chief Culture Officer of TrueU HR, Amber Fields.
Hey, Travis, it's good to see you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Now, Amber, I know you as a people and culture guru, so let's just jump right in with that. Like right now, what is it really that you're doing to help people and cultures grow?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that question, Travis, because this is something that I found out over the last 3.5 years that I am 100% born to do. I've always been really passionate about culture and people and all the organizations that I've ever worked in. And so finding TrueU and TrueU HR was like a diamond in the rough. And so every day we are working with organizations to help them become what we call a destination workplace, a place where their people want to work and don't want to leave. And we do that through culture building, culture strategy, people strategy, fractional HR, through personal and professional growth of their people, which, as you and I both know, are your number one strategic advantage.
You know, when you talk about people and culture today in today's world, like what are the challenges that companies are actually having? And then what are those solutions that you're looking for to try to match those up?
Yeah, the challenges that people are having is obviously attracting great talent and retaining great talent. And what are those things that why does somebody want to come work with you? And why are people leaving if you have great turnover? And so we're solving for that. We are helping organizations really understand what it means, because culture now more than ever is so important. People are looking for that. You're not just interviewing them anymore. They're interviewing you to find out, what is your culture like? Is this a place where I'm going to want to come to work and want to hang out and want to be if I'm going to spend time away from my family? And so that's some of the challenges that people are working through, is they have to make sure that their culture is up to snuff.
Now we're going to get back to your position, title, what you're doing from a culture perspective. I want to back up, and I really want to talk about you and your journey. So how did you get to this space? Because anybody that has a C-level, you're executive, you're doing what you love to do. Yeah. Like it most likely didn't start that way. So how did you actually get to this spot?
Yeah, I love that question also. So I was in IT managed service prior to this. I've been in a long time sales career. And during COVID, like many people, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And so I'm a woman of faith. And so I pretty much surrendered my career to God and was like, I will quite literally do anything you want me to do as long as I'm serving the kingdom. And so at the same time, I was at Indiana Wesleyan get my Master's of Divinity, because I wanted to be in the church. You know, I can publicly speak, and I'm really passionate about God and helping others come to know Christ. And so I thought that was the direction that God was taking me. And he was like, hang on, sis, I really think that you need to be the hands and feet of Jesus in the business marketplace. And so when I stopped chasing money and title, God gave me exactly what I was supposed to do. I always joke and laugh and call Chris Mills my angel, because I met her through networking. And she said, we are acquiring TrueU, and we need somebody to come alongside of us and help us grow this organization. It had 60 members when I got here. And so very quickly, within the first 100 days, we grew it to about 100. And Mike Lance will tell you that on paper, Mike Lance is the founder. He said on paper, I didn't look like I could do this job, but that I was a perfect fit for this job. And so he took a chance. Him and Chris took a chance on me. And it has been a wild, crazy, amazing ride for the last 3.5 years.
You dropped 2 dimes in there. I gotta go back. You said first one was when you stop chasing money and title. Okay, let me just pause right there. Can you unpack that? Because I think most people in their professional journey get stuck in that space. So how do you not, or what is your advice around moving around money and title?
Yeah. So I had to weigh what my priorities were. What do I really care about? And that is taking care of my family and trying to find, really understanding what are my gifts? What am I really good at? And what organization or what could I be doing that really utilized those passions and those skill sets. And the first thing was really understanding that I'm really great at relationships. And I had to own the fact that I was really great at sales, which I was in denial about before. And so, growing up, I went to college to be a television news anchor. And I kind of had some trauma around the fact that I didn't actually take that path. I didn't actually get to use those gifts. I was on the air the day of 9/11 as a news director for a local radio station. And it just really changed the trajectory of my career because I was like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news for the rest of my life, but I want to be successful. So what does that mean? And the world will tell you that getting a title, going up the chain and making as much money as you can is what you're supposed to do. So that's what I did. But I was really unhappy trying to do it that way and trying to do it myself. I worked for Verizon for several years and they were like, yeah, it'd be awesome to take you up the leadership chain, but you're going to have to move out of state to do that. And that is a non-negotiable for me. I have 5 kids. We are well rooted in Fishers, Indiana. And at this time, we were not ready to move. That doesn't mean, that we won't down the road, but maybe. So I had to make a different choice as it related to my career. And it all worked out in the end.
I love that insight because this is really about, I talk about the Mojo Factor. It's, where that intersection of passion and purpose really come together with positive attitude and energy, and it really transforms itself. I've been using a definition like that for literally 12 years, 13 years that I've been talking about this. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges. One is like you have been pre-programmed to think that money and title is the win. And so I love how you broke that down. The other nugget that I just heard in there was on paper, you didn't look like you were qualified for the job. There's some data out there that talks specifically about women are less likely to even apply to jobs if they don't even feel like they have the qualifications. I guess that means we might either be more confident or more arrogant that we think that we can get them, or there may be some other data in there as well. But talk to me about not being qualified on paper and still pursuing what you thought was an opportunity.
Yeah. I sat and listened to Mike Lance's vision for what he wanted this organization to be. And I took what I know I'm really good at. I took what he told me that he wanted to do, and I married the two together. This is how I foresee me being able to help you achieve this goal. So you have to know who you are at the core. You have to know what you're really good at. You have to know what your passions are. You have to understand what your purpose are. And I know that for a lot of people, they're still chasing that down. And I've spent a lot of time in discovery trying to figure that out in my 20s and 30s and really trying to understand what am I supposed to be doing here and what am I really good at. And so I just took what he said and said, here's where I feel like I'm going to really bring value to this organization. And then I was not married to the outcome. At the end of the day, I thought if I'm supposed to be here, then it's already done. I'm already chosen to be the one. And if not, then there'll be another opportunity for me. And it just kind of gave me a little sense of peace around the situation. And when, I got the call to accept the job, I was like, see, it all worked out the way it was supposed to.
You're like, I already knew how this was going down. One of the things that you said in there that I also caught my ear is, as a mom and a wife. So I want to talk a little bit about the executive journey as a mom and a wife. Just how to balance that. Because I know a lot of women that I've encountered from a executive perspective are struggling with the mom guilt and trying to balance those things out. How much do I chase my career versus, my family? How has Amber Fields navigated that?
Oh, man, that's a tough one, Travis. First and foremost, I have an incredible spouse. So my partner in crime, Daniel Fields, I wouldn't be able to chase my career if he weren't as flexible, supportive. He really supports me. He knows I'm a driver and I'm a perfectionist. and I'm a highly accountable person. And I want to be the best. I'm really competitive. And so I work really hard. And so he's really great about supporting me, but he's always really great at holding me accountable to the things I said I wanted to do. And when I get too far down that path, he's like, I think you're going too hard. I think you're not spending enough quality time with the kids. And I think you need to back off. And that is super hard feedback to hear. That is really hard. But he's earned the right to put me in my place at any point in our life, because we've been married for 22, 23 years. And so that's the first thing is, having a great spouse that really can tell you when you're doing too much. And I will tell you right out of the gate, we are a small company. We all wear many hats. We are all really busy all the time. And I would say probably for the first 2.5 years, I did not get this right. I did not do this well, because you are hustling, you are grinding, you are trying to grow this thing. You're scrappy with it. As Mike Lance likes to say, we're scrappy with what we're trying to get done. And sometimes I didn't get that right. But here's what I know for sure is I'm having open conversations with my kids. Mom's on this trajectory of really trying to set us up for success in the future. This isn't just about me and my career. This is about the success of our family and leaving a legacy. And if I am not showing up for you as a mom, I need you to tell me. And so just being really intentional about the time that I spend with them, the conversations that we're having, putting the phone down, not helping them understand that there's a level of flexibility. I always joke, Travis, that my older 3 kids don't really know what this life is like compared to my other 2 kids, because it was different. We worked 8 to 5. We left the house at 7 and we got home at 6 or 7. We made dinner, we did baths, we did homework, and we put them to bed. And it was the same thing every day. And they never complained. On the weekends, we did fun things together. My twins are like, what, you can't take us to school in the morning? Like, whatever you got going on is too important than me? And I'm like, they're like, what do you mean? So it's just a different lifestyle for them. And so you got to balance that. You got to be really intentional about the balance of making sure that you're taking care of home and work. We like to call it not balance, but we like to call it integration.
Integration. I like that, because it's been so difficult for me over the years as a speaker. I traveled the country speaking. And so then there's so many things that you miss. But then there were so many cool things I was there for because I didn't have a traditional 9 to 5. Yeah. And even as a business owner, like the flexibility, my son looked at me the other day, was like, are you coming to my field trip? And I'm like, sure. Let me fill that thing out to be able to come. Because he's like, what else are you doing? You just sit here in your office here now, because now that I'm home, working from home versus in an office, it's like I'm always, I'm always around and I'm always available, and they don't think I'm doing anything. So it's kind of that balance of being gone and being driven and really trying to make decisions and sacrifices that set you and your family up, your kids up, give them opportunities. But it also is that balance between like chasing that sometimes takes you away from what you're saying is really the most important, which is time with your family. Yeah. And that is always that, is always that tough balance.
Here's the other thing I will say about that, Travis, is they're watching you. And so I have created some probably not healthy practices within my girls, because they're watching me go all the time, drive. This perfectionist, I always say a recovering perfectionist, because it's okay to not be perfect. But one of the areas that if I'm being a vulnerable leader here, one of the areas that I struggle is sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I'm always trying to do more.
At home or work?
Both. It doesn't matter. It's all the same for me. So my daughter came home for my 14-year-old. I have 14-year-old, almost 14-year-old twins. My daughter came home and she was crying. And she was like, the kids at school are being mean to me because I broke up with my boyfriend, and I'm trying to stay focused on my studies, and I'm trying to stay focused on color guard. She's on the varsity guard and at Fisher's High School, and they're giving her a hard time. And she said, and I want to be the best at what I do at guard, and I just feel like I'm not doing enough. And I thought, oh my goodness, I might have done this. And so I had to have timeout. We have to have a timeout conversation, because you are doing 100% enough of what you need to be doing. You're probably doing more than you need to be doing. And you're doing an excellent job at what you're doing. And you need to stop looking for validation that you are, and just know that you are. And you don't need the validation of anybody else around you to make decisions that you are making for your life. And I think that that's an area we're going to cover later. But just to kind of plant that seed, she needs to not worry about what everybody else thinks.
Which is definitely easier said than done, especially with
For
teenagers.
sure.
I heard a famous quote that said, if your leadership doesn't work at home, don't export it. And it was one of those basically saying, like, if you can't get your whole house in order, trying to do it at work, right? Which to me was a very strong, like, check. Like, Travis, do you have your stuff together at home? Are you communicate? Are you spending as much time trying to communicate with your wife as you are your employees? Are you spending much time with your kids as you are your clients? Like, and building the culture at home. Like, is there a connection for you of like, these things have to work in both home and business? And I've learned that whether I learned them at home, I applied them at business, or I learned it in business and applied it at home.
Yeah, like I said, it's in tandem. It's all the same. To the point, Travis, where I had started feeling a little bit of shame around my career trajectory after I didn't follow being a television news anchor. I just stayed focused on my family. For a decade, I worked jobs that didn't necessarily feel fulfilling to me, but I was in discovery and I was being curious. But I took care of my family and got my family home taken care of. And I was raising my kids. And I had created this space where I loved being at home. And one of the things that I said 4 years ago when I was looking for this job was, I want to have at work what I have at home, which is high communication, cohesiveness, alignment, connection, and where we feel like we're doing good in the world. I want that at work. And so that's what I was seeking. I actually had a female leader one time, Travis, say to me, you've never been in leadership before, which wasn't true. I've led people in different jobs, but she said, you didn't have enough leadership experience to be in whatever role I was trying to go for at the time. And I said, how many kids do you have? And she said, 1. And I said, I have 5. I am the CEO, the CFO, the COO of my household. They're all still alive. They're all doing really well. And you're not going to tell me that I've not been in leadership before. So I retract my wanting to be in this role for you, because you are not a good leader, because you don't recognize where good leadership comes from. To your point, you're exactly right. You can't lead at work if you don't know how to lead at home.
I love that. And I want to unpack that through some culture stuff in a minute, but we're going to take a quick little a segment break, and we're going to play a game that we play at home. Speaking of home, with my kids that my son and daughter love to lead, my little ones anyway, called Would You Rather.
All
so
right.
These are just real quick answers, but here we go. So it's, would you rather, are you coffee or tea?
Coffee, for sure.
A morning person or night owl?
Morning. 5 a.m. club right here.
Oh, that sounds like that hurts. Beach or mountains?
Ooh, both.
Netflix, YouTube, cable, or Hulu?
Netflix.
Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Sneakers or heels?
Heels. Have you met me?
Yeah. I have. I might have to send you a pair of cool kicks,
Please do. I wish somebody would.
Work from home or the office?
The office.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Text or a call?
Call.
City life, country life?
City life.
My son's favorite question he likes to ask, would you rather go to the moon or spend the rest of your life in the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably to the moon. I don't know what's on the bottom of the ocean.
Right?
That sounds a little scary.
We play that at dinner all the time, so I thought I'd throw a little segment of Would You Rather in there. Okay, so I want to talk through now a little bit understanding, like, what's the fuel, what's the passion that gets you up every single morning? Because you mentioned, like, you love doing what you do. I think there's a lot of people that maybe aren't there, but it also is inspiring to hear somebody who gets to do what they really feel like they're born and called to do. So what is it that gets you just charged and woke up every morning?
Yeah. So it's the humans that I get to work with and for every single day. I am helping organizations who have businesses who have some sort of expertise in some area. They are focused on their clients. They're trying to grow their organization with their people, and they don't have enough bandwidth to do all the things. And so my team comes along beside them and really helps them figure out those areas of talent, of culture, of development, whatever that is. And so I have gotten to see companies who are really struggling as it relates to culture, as it relates to, because now HR is the dumping ground for everything from leadership development to compliance to like everything is falling under HR. And so we're helping to alleviate some of that. And I'm watching companies become successful because they are investing back into their people, because they have a clear understanding of their vision, mission, values. They understand where they're going. The people that work for them understand where they're going. And every business is different, Travis. It's so fascinating to like listen to the business leader's story, talk about their vision for where they want to be, where they're trying to get to, and the woes in between. And for me, it's about how can I be an accelerator for your business, whether it's something that I do, or maybe I can connect you to somebody in my network who can help you do that. That's what I live for every single day, is building that community and making it greater and larger and helping you be successful in your business.
And in our relationship over the years, like, you've been an incredible connector, connecting people to me to other people. And I've always been appreciative of your ability to connect. Do a great job with that. Let me talk about you connecting with your younger self and people that are young to get to this spot. Like, was there the intersection, if you could go back to that younger self and say, hold on, just don't do this, do this, and you're going to get there. What would that be?
Yeah. Stop listening to other people. Stop going out and seeking other people's opinions about your life. I'm just going to pause right there and let that sit for a second, because as we're young, we don't know. We don't know. I've got a 20-year-old who went to Purdue for a year, and she was like, Mom, I think I want to be in studying biotech and do something else. And she came home and she was like, Mom, I don't want to do that anymore. And I said, okay, what do you want to do? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm not going to spend $80,000 on a degree when I don't know. So I'm going to take the next 3 years and I'm going to get free education through Starbucks in a general studies and business. And I'm going to be in discovery and be curious with myself as to what I'm really good at. This is where I'm like, kids are listening to you, because these are all the things that I've said over the last 20 years of her life. And I had no idea if she got it. But she had skin in the game. She was helping pay for her school. And she was like, I'm not trying to go into debt if I am unclear about what I want for my life. And I just thought, gosh, I wish somebody would have helped me when I was her age to figure that out too. Not that I have any regrets, Travis. Like, I have lived a really great life and have learned a lot of great lessons, but I spent a lot of time asking other people what they thought I should be doing versus being in discovery of what I wanted to be doing.
And how does that work with like the ideology today of having mentors and relationships and people that have gone before you, and yet still really being true to yourself?
Yeah.
And trying to figure that out. How do you coach even CEOs and business owners around trying to figure out, like, where am I supposed to go? Because I've been going through this, myself for the last, at least 6 months, as we went from office to remote, looked at our business model, changing a lot of things. So, like, what is that from the lens that you have in people and culture and experience? What are you trying to get them to understand?
Yeah, they need to understand first and foremost what their core values are. What are the things in life? And I'm not talking about family. I'm not talking about faith. I'm talking about the things that are a little bit deeper than that. What are the things that you value? I said it earlier. What are the things that you're really good at? And what are the things that drive you? Like, what are the things that get you up, at 5 a.m. in the morning and get you excited about what you're going to do, whether you get paid for it or not? I jokingly said a couple months ago, don't tell Mike Lance, but I would actually do this job for free. Because it brings so much value to me. It brings so much joy to my life because I get to be around so many, because I'm about community. I'm about connection. I'm about understanding how people think and why they think and the what drives people. And so that's what I really want others to help, for clarity for themselves. What drives you? What do you care about? And how can you apply that into the business world? What are the areas where you can find solution for people, where you feel like you can do something that's different than somebody else? That's what I'm all about, mentorship. And that's what I tell my mentees is, you got to be in discovery. And I've had a ton of people tell me the things that I'm really good at. So I'm not saying like, it's about the feedback that you're getting. What are the things that you hear frequently that you might not be willing to own yourself? Somebody had to tell me, Amber, you're a really great connector. I didn't even realize that.
Let me dig in deep because you've used the word, you got to be in discovery a couple times today.
Yeah.
Maybe unpack that for people that haven't really gone through that process and are looking down this road. Like what does that really mean for you, and or maybe how you would explain discovery?
Yeah. I mean, we've all worked different jobs, and you got to take pieces of that job and go, I really liked being externally customer facing, or I didn't like that piece of it. So you got to take inventory, right? Of like, what have I liked in my career? What didn't I like? And just kind of doing some self-reflection over the years. I was really good in marketing, but maybe not in sales, or I was really good in sales and not in marketing. But oftentimes people who are in sales have to do marketing because they don't have somebody to do both, right? So it's just taking inventory of those areas of your life, like I said, who you are, what you like to do, what drives you, and what fuels your passion.
I like that a lot because I think that's the process that everybody's going through, whether they actually know it or not, and they're intentional about it. One of the other things I know about you at TrueU and TrueU HR is you guys have an exceptional team with great human beings that are amazing. Talk about how did you build that team, and how does that team set up to serve the other businesses that you guys work with?
That is so very intentionally. We use this thing called a success profile. And so, let me rewind it back. We're an EOS company.
Yep.
And in EOS, we have what's called an accountability chart. And it starts at the top, and you lay out every role that exists today and all of the future roles that you feel like you're going to need in the future. So we have done that. And then we use a tool that we have created called a success profile. And it's bigger than a job description. In the job description, that just kind of describes what the job is. It does not tell you the competencies required. It does not tell you what the KPIs are or what success in a year looks like in this role. And so we use that format to be able to really go out and look for the appropriate candidates. And understanding what our clients need. What type of person is going to work really well for them? What type of experience and background do they need? And are they willing to be an advocate for our organization? Oftentimes people in our company are like, I'm not a salesperson. And we're like, yo, all of you are salespeople. Because you're all selling yourself, our services, your value, your worth to the organization, to your clients, for the organization at all times. And so, we eat our own dog food, and we really just look for the right talent. We have to understand what our talent should look like, and then we invest in them. We send them through our own leadership programs. I am a graduate of our advanced leader program, and several of our employees have gone through or are going through.
My employees too.
That's right. Your employees too. And so they want to be invested in, and then they stay longer, right? We have a great tenure of employees, and we're a small team. I think there's 18 of us. So.
Yeah. We were recording this in February of 2025, and a new president has just come in. It's Black History Month.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on right now in our culture. I thought about this cool question, which is, if you could take a leader, a leader that made an impact back then, and you transformed them today, who would it be? And what impact do you think they could have on people and our culture?
Yeah. So the person that I would choose, and not the person you and I talked about, I would choose Maya Angelou, actually. She was a singer. She was a dancer. She was one of the first Black female directors and composer. And the thing that I love about her is she was super courageous in the way that she took on life, in the way that she went about her career, and the way that she loved people. She loved people well. And I think the way that she would impact people today in the world that we live in, it takes a lot of courage, to live in the world that we live in today, because it just looks very different. And ultimately, we have to love each other, even in conflict. And I'm not talking about, like intimate love. I'm talking about loving humans for who they are. And love doesn't always feel good, right? Love looks like holding people accountable. Love can look like having, hard conversations and conflict conversations and feedback. And she was the epitome of that. She said what she needed to say, but you knew when she said it, it came from a place of love. And that is inspiring to me.
I love you throwing her out there because there's so many of them. And even in my head, as I was thinking about that question today, I'm like, man, I'd love to see how MLK would do in today's culture.
Mm-hmm.
What he would look like at that seat at the table. Or, I'm a sports person. I recently got a award that was kind of modeled after Jackie Robinson called Breaking Barriers. But Jackie Robinson broke those barriers, and he did it in a way in sport, and he had to kind of stand up against so many things. I always wonder, like, what would that look like for some of those people in today's environment that has some similarities to back then? But thank you for sharing I love what she has always done and just the impact she's made on our world. So, all right, bring you to the last aspect of it. 30 minutes goes really quick. It's called the rapid fire as the hot seat. All right. So I'm going to rapid fire some questions for you and let you just rattle them off real quick here. So, you ready?
Go.
Oh, hold on. I got my screen here. All right, here we go. Favorite place to vacation?
Oh, Turks and Caicos.
Ooh, we went there. That amazing place.
Yes.
What is your guilty pleasure snack?
Oh, ice cream.
A brand that you love to support or wear a brand?
Besides TrueU, I'm kidding.
Yes.
A brand that I loved, Hope Anchor and Crew.
Okay. An all-time favorite shoe?
All-time favorite shoe. Oh man, you would think that I would have this down because my husband and I were having a competition as to who has the most shoes, and he won, but not by much. Believe it or not. I would have to say tennis shoes. I mean, I wear a good heel on a good day, but I do love Nike. I do love Nike and Adidas tennis shoes.
You can go with your TrueU colored heels. That's okay.
They do.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have several pairs of tennis shoes that match my colors.
A professional or college sports team that you support?
The Colts.
Colts, all right.
I know.
A TV show that you will binge watch, you just love, the TV show.
Oh, I'm not a big TV person.
Or movie.
Man, The Guardian. Okay. The movie The Guardian.
An athlete, entertainer, actor, actress that you always admire.
Will Smith.
A Mac or a PC?
PC, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I used to respect you. Now you got one more chance. iPhone or Android?
Oh, iPhone, for sure.
It's the same. It's the same deal. So here's going to date you a little bit, but gaming station that you played as a kid.
Oh, God. Really?
Yep.
Okay. Sega.
See? If you had a theme song, what would it be?
A theme song? Oh, my gosh.
Like you're going to speak, like it's your walk-up song.
Yeah. Somebody asked me that the other day. So, The Champion by Carrie Underwood.
Okay. A book that you would recommend?
Oh, leadership or other?
Either. A book you would recommend?
So I'm reading The Women right now, which is about women in Vietnam. So good.
Ooh. If you could switch lives with a famous person for one day, who would you switch lives with?
Oh my gosh. Whoever is married to Justin Timberlake.
That's Jessica Biel, right?
Jessica. Yep.
Good. We can just do that thing right there. Yes. Justin. If you could have dinner with one historical person from history, no matter what, who would it be?
God, there's so many. Alive or dead?
History.
Jesus.
There you go. One thing on your bucket list you haven't done.
Hike to the Grand Canyon.
Okay. Nonprofit that you love to support or a great cause.
Yeah, Damar Services.
Awesome. Final question, Amber Fields. When it's all over, they talk about Amber Fields. What is it that you would like them to say?
Oh, gosh. I would like them to say that they really enjoyed having me in their life, that we had a good time together, and that in some way or another, I was able to bring value, connection, community, love, and kindness into the world.
Amber Fields, you're officially off the hot seat. And
Woo!
thank you for joining us on the Mojo Factor. I didn't tell you this, but this is our first episode of our brand new podcast. And so thank you so much for being our guest today. And I wish you well building people and culture the way that you do. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Travis.